David Declare.
David!
Yeah, this sounds pretty good. It doesn't sound like... What's that? Looks like Razer's finally making stuff I might want to use. Today we're looking at the Razer Barracuda X, a back to basics headset. No, none of the frills, none of the nonsense, just all the features that I think are kind of great in a under $100 wireless pair of headphones. There's no RGB, which is fine. Some people want RGB, but on my headphones, when I don't get to see it, no thanks. If I don't get to see the RGB, does it even exist? Regular Razer box, green and black. Little instruction fold out. You can see where some of the corners are cut. Often Razer boxes are really nice, like you'll pull out a thing and it'll lift the box out, lift the headphones out. Here, it's more like an Amazon Basics box, which is totally okay. A little bit of padding to protect the headphones, and then it comes in this little protective baggie. So these are the headphones. I like their kind of more subdued look. So sometimes Razer does stuff where I'm like, oh, that's almost good looking, but then like the ear cups will be lime green, or there'll be a big RGB thing, or there'll be cat ears or something. This is just like a basic pair of black headphones, and that's great.
Less is more.
Yeah, exactly, Andy. Less is more. We're gonna come back to these and kind of evaluate the build quality. Oh, I almost dropped them. Okay, Razer stickers.
Oh God.
There we go. Here's the mic. It's like most gaming headsets, you have an optional mic that you can attach, which is great. This is a pretty decent length. We'll see exactly where it gets to on my mouth, how much spit I'm gonna get on it, but build quality's okay on that. Oh, perfect. Okay, here's the actual dongle. It's pretty cool, actually. I think it's a smart choice to do a USB-C dongle. That means that's compatibility with everything, including Switch, which is kind of a big pain right now. Most headsets just don't have compatibility with Switch because they can't do Bluetooth. It needs a proprietary dongle. So you can plug this right into your Switch. It also goes right into a PS5, but there's also a A to C adapter or an extender that you can use on Xbox or on your PC if you don't have a USB-C slot. In fact, here it is. Trademark Razer green. It's pretty long. That's pretty nice. I actually like, for wireless stuff, having them above my desk. My desk is fairly thick, and there's lots of computers and a lot of wires, and so sometimes wireless has trouble if I have it plugged in below. So it's nice to have an extender that I can put on the desk, not worry about that. This is a charging cable. It's A to C. The headphones charge through C. You can't use them as just like a wired pair of headphones like some of the wireless ones I've seen. But that's all right. This cable's decently long. You could have it under your desk into your headset if you were running out of battery. It'd be okay. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm not a huge wireless headset guy when it comes to PC gaming. You're in your chair, your PC's right there. I prefer just having the consistency of wired headsets. If you spend the same amount of money on a wired headset, you're gonna get better sound. So to me, that's more important than the convenience of being able to move around. That being said, I do have wireless headphones, but mostly for streaming and like console gaming. And I really do like that when I like get up to go grab water or something, I can get up and I don't like pull everything with me and try and destroy my entire life around me. So I'm considering switching, you know? Oh yeah, I was wrong. Apparently you can plug them in wired. Today, we are testing the wireless. At home, my wireless headphones are the Sony WHL600s, which aren't quite comparable. They're $200 more expensive. They come with a base station, but I choose them because the connectivity, I can connect them through ARC to my TV, as well as to my PC and to another source, and it all just works, it's great. But this has a similar look to that, I like this look. I don't wanna be a walking advertisements for companies, and it's okay if you have like Razer branding on your thing, but I don't want people from 100 meters away to be able to be like, oh, he's wearing Razer. And so I like the look of this. It feels a little bit cheaper, but the build quality isn't bad. It's got memory foam padding for the ears, and it's not like a leather. It looks pretty breathable, which is nice. That can be definitely a big problem, especially in the summer, man. Headphones get so warm, and I prefer playing competitive games with headphones, even if I'm playing on like console or something. But man, I get so sweaty. There's padding at the top. It feels a little bit inadequate considering there's no other support, but it's a really light pair of headphones. I believe this is Razer's, they say it's their lightest headset ever, 250 grams, which is great. So you have all the buttons and controls on this side. I believe that's the left ear cup. There's your mic, there's your charging, there's your audio in, there's your power button. This looks like a volume knocker, and then there's your mute button. Man, if you're doing a wireless gaming headset and you don't have a mute button for your mic, what are you doing? There's so many times I like don't want to talk to people for a second and just like mute and have a sip of water or a handful of chips, you know? So this is great. That's a good set of features. Decent build quality. It feels light, and sometimes things that feel light feel cheap, but it doesn't feel cheap. This feels pretty darn adequate. So the drivers are 40 millimeters. They're branded as Razer Triforce, as in like bass, mid, and high, as if they invented drivers that can do bass, mids, and high. Oh my goodness. I'm excited to get into it right after I talk to you about our sponsor, Vessi Footwear. Thanks to Vessi Footwear for sponsoring today's video. Vessi Footwear is known for being lightweight, comfortable, and most importantly, waterproof. The shoes are made with a material called Dynamax, which keeps your feet cool in the summer and warm in winter. Lots of us here at LMG wear them all the time. In fact, if you were here, you could stare at people's feet like a weirdo. Keep your feet dry when the heavens pour out and save $25 with our code SHORTCIRCUIT at vessi.com/shortcircuit today. Let's try these. There's not much more to it. I can comment on aesthetics, but you guys can see them. You can decide for yourselves. Build quality I've already talked about. Now it's time for the most important thing. How does it sound? All right, I kind of want to try using it on a Switch first, because I know that's been, for me, someone that's only like an occasional Switch user, a big pain when I'm traveling is like needing wired headphones. So let's see how easy the pairing process is. So I plugged in the dongle. I'm gonna turn on the headphones. I think it already is connected. Wow, that was really easy. Oh, it feels pretty comfortable. Pretty secure. Like if I really tried, like off they come. Realistically, when I'm on a bus or on a plane or something, walking, yeah, it'd be fine. The weight of the dongle is so light too that it doesn't feel like it's like pulling in any way. It's just there. If you wanted to put it in tabletop mode, you're gonna have a bit of trouble. Yeah, it's not gonna work.
That's Nintendo's fault.
Yeah. I mean, the sound isolation is pretty good because like I can't hear what John was saying. I had to take the headphones off, so like that's pretty good.
David! Take the letter.
David! Yeah, this sounds pretty good. It doesn't sound like. What's that?
We were yelling at you.
Oh yeah, the sound isolation's excellent. I have the sound turned up pretty high. But like it was like 65%. Honestly, I didn't really want to mess around too much with the Switch. I just wanted to see how well it worked. It worked, it connected really well. Sounds pretty good. Sound isolation's excellent. I mean, it's way too cheap of a headset to expect noise cancellation, but in terms of just like blocking out sound, it's clearly really good. I can already tell the sound's like a little bit thin on the low end, but it sounds good. And it's a $100 pair of headphones. Man, that's good. Let's try it on something I know a bit better. I really like the shape of this dongle, but I could see in some builds, some cases, maybe some motherboards, usually there's an extra gap around the Type-C. This could be a problem where it starts blocking another port or kind of gets in the way. Not a huge deal, and it works perfect for the Switch. I wouldn't want it to be longer, but it's definitely a consideration is how big this thing is gonna be on your setup. But before we get into gaming, we're actually gonna do a little microphone test. So it's a Razer proprietary mic. It's cardioid, so they say, so that it's better for directional audio. We'll see how it sounds. I don't have super high expectations. Usually cheap headsets come with cheap microphones. It should be adequate, and like a lot of people use like, I remember the day when you got that free plug-in headset for the 360. A lot of people use mics of that quality, like those $15 Best Buy Insignia ones. So this is probably a little bit better than that, but we're about to find out. It's a little less seamless on PC. It seems like it's connected. So let's see if it's picked it up in Windows. I guess I probably have to get the Razer drivers. Razer, why? Razer, I don't want to use your proprietary software. I don't want it installed. I just want, like almost every other device on the planet, for it to plug in and work, and then maybe unlock some extra features with your software. Big downer for me, big bummer. Let's see. Oh my God, it is! Oh no! Oh, no! We had the dongle plugged in as we restarted it, and then we would get no display to our monitor. And so it seems like it's competing with whatever's going on to like be the display. So we're gonna try it with the extender, which is USB A to C, and see if that helps. Plugging into the extender seems to work. So if you are buying this, I would recommend using the extender to start. There might be a firmware update that becomes available that will fix this, but I will remember this. My mic is recording. It seems like an appropriate volume. I wonder how it sounds. You guys can be the judge for yourself. Bit of bobble, bipping, boops, the bag of blah, blah, blah. John was going to speak in the background. Let's see how the noise cancellation is.
Hey, short circuit. All for critics. You want to get more cars?
It's not bad. It's definitely like a cheap mic, but it's clear, and that's what's important. If someone was speaking to me using this mic, I'd be able to hear. I think usually the compression they use in-game is so crappy anyway that would be the bigger bottleneck. In Discord, if you get this quality, I'd be fine with that. If someone was speaking to me with this on my team, I'd be like, this is totally okay. I don't know how advanced their noise cancellation is. They don't even talk about noise cancellation in their promo material, so I'm guessing it's just counting on the cardioid pattern. As soon as you're talking, that's gonna take precedence. It's fine. It's an okay mic, and it's totally serviceable. On the Switch, I felt like the lows was lacking, but here, it's like really boomy bass. So maybe it's just a Switch thing. And that's what I would have expected. Usually cheap headphones, to make up for their lack in clarity, they kind of add a bunch of oomph on the low end. Honestly, I'm having a hard time like hearing like the little high ends. And the mids are like kind of low. It's kind of an uncomfortable hearing experience. And I don't really want to turn it down because I want to like hear the speaking and stuff. In game, it kind of feels like I'm getting a pretty decent amount of the audioscape. When I'm listening with higher end headphones, when I walk through the map, I can kind of feel that I'm close to places. I can feel that I'm close to the lava or that I'm close to a vent. And I can hear all these little details that help kind of add texture to it. I just can't hear them. They're just not there, which is kind of a bummer. Yeah, like these would be good for like EDM music, not for games where you need kind of a broader sound spectrum. Maybe I'm giving an unfair comparison to the headphones that I have. Overall, I'd say the Razer headset's fine. If you're okay with like aggressive bass, they kind of do everything else I'd want otherwise. They're $100, that's pretty good. And there's a bunch of other options at that low end that maybe we'll unbox. So if you want us to see us unbox other budget headphones, let us know. Give us a subscribe, a like, maybe leave a comment below with a device you want us to unbox. But for now, thank you for watching this short circuit, and I will see you on the long circuit of life.